Dear China national team, I come to you today as a Chinese Canadian. Although living my entire life in Canada, I have clung on to my Chinese roots with all of my might. I still feel more Chinese than Canadian. As a result, I have been a fan of the China national team for as long as I've been into football. Summer of 2014, that year's World Cup was what got me into football. It convinced me to love this sport, and I loved all of the stories that came about it. But I still distinctly remembered asking myself, why isn't China in the World Cup? I mean, it's a World Cup, right? My sweet, innocent 11-year-old self, not knowing what horrors awaited me. Back when things were so simple, my sweet, naive soul not knowing what kind of immense suffering that one choice would condemn me to. And here I am, bearing the weight of eternal suffering. The last time we were in the World Cup was 2002. I wasn't even alive to see that one. Now, in my 21 years of living, I have never once seen China play in the World Cup. Today, I stand before you, watching my team, the China national team, once again on the verge of being eliminated in World Cup qualifiers, and this time, it's even more painful. Before this point, we would normally be eliminated at the third round after putting on a quite honestly pitiful show. But not this time. It's only the second round. Let me tell you something. We haven't been eliminated at the second round of World Cup qualifying since 2006. That's right. We're about to hit a new low we haven't seen in nearly 20 years. And this is where our problems lie. You see, while some Asian countries stagnate and other Asian countries improve, all we seem to do is go backwards. While countries like South Korea and Japan are producing miracles at the World Cup, all we ever seem to do is find new ways to embarrass ourselves. And this is coming off of one of the most pathetic and lifeless showings I've ever seen from our team at the Asian Cup. 3 matches, 2 draws, 1 loss, 0 goals scored in probably the easiest group in the entire tournament. How on earth have we fallen this far? You know, China national team, before qualification started, there was this tiny speck of hope within me. Oh hey, this time they expanded it to 48 countries. Surely we can put on a performance this time. Surely we have a shot. Surely we might actually make the World Cup this year. You know, I'll finally get to see my nation in the World Cup. I don't care if we get knocked out at the group stage again. I just want to see us play, right? It's the world's biggest tournament. Maybe at last, I'll see people representing my roots at the world's biggest tournament. Oh, how naive I was, quite frankly. We have been nothing but underwhelming at this qualification campaign, emphasis on the pain. We had 2 clear chances to secure qualification, both of which we missed. The first one, that 2-2 draw against Singapore. The second one, the 1-1 draw against Thailand a few days ago. Let me also reiterate, in both matches, we had a penalty. And both times, we missed. And had either one of those penalties been scored, we wouldn't be here today. We would already be qualified for the third round. Before this qualifying campaign, my objective for this team was to improve. My objective for this team wasn't to necessarily qualify for the World Cup, but at least put on a performance or have some fights. We can reach the Intercontinental playoffs, and, you know, that's enough. I don't expect us to win the Intercontinental playoffs. If we can at least finish in that spot, that's improvement right there. Even better if we can qualify for the World Cup, but that was my bare minimum objective, and if I saw that, I would have been happy. But no. I just always have to lower my expectations with this team, even when it's at rock bottom. For me now, the objective is no longer to qualify for the World Cup or even to reach the Intercontinental playoffs. For me now, The objective is no longer to qualify for the World Cup or even to reach the Intercontinental Playoffs. At this point, all I want us to do is reach the third round of qualifiers. Oh, please. Please grant me this one wish. On my birthday this year, my wish was for China to qualify for the World Cup, knowing full well it was impossible. Lo and behold, I was right. My objective now isn't to see improvement in this team, but to at least hold out. To see consistency. At the very least, just don't show us that regression, right? At least show us you've stopped the regression. We have one final match against South Korea, and Thailand faces Singapore. At this point, we need one of three scenarios for us to qualify for the next round. Scenario 1, Thailand doesn't win against Singapore. If Singapore at least holds Thailand to a draw, they can no longer catch up to us. The second scenario, China at least draws against South Korea. I don't expect us to win. If we can hold them to a draw, that's okay. That's good. And the third and final scenario, Thailand only wins by 1 goal, and China only loses by 1 goal. That'll secure our qualification by goal difference. I wanted to see change in this team. I wanted to see a more aesthetic style of play. Even if it didn't always produce results, then maybe, right? It's at least improvement. But no. At this point, all I want us to do is force a draw against South Korea. Force a draw so we can at least get to the third round. At this point, I do not care if we park the bus for 90 minutes, do nothing but defending, and force a 0-0 draw, because that still puts us in the third round. At the end of the day, by this point, that's fine with me. I can excuse it this one time. To the China national team players, you have already disappointed me countless times across my life. You have brought me the worst form of suffering known to humanity. I beseech you, I beg of you, please, just this once, give me hope. Call it delusion if you will, but please, give me something to keep going. Please give me at least some semblance of happiness. That's all I want to see. That's it, China national team. That's really it. My only objective for you now, just get to the third round. We can talk about how badly you do afterwards, right? But for now, just get to the third round. I'm begging you.